Rio, you can interview more.
So we say
Hurricane Maria, Mungi Pedi from you. Next year, that man.
no problem. So we say a very special good afternoon to everyone who is joining our live today as we continue our live coverage around Dominica on the Hurricane Maria story and hearing from residents across Dominica on what they went through on that date. We know, of course, today is not the official anniversary. Tomorrow would be the official 5th year anniversary. But we're just ensuring that we hear the story of Dominicans on what they went through 5 years ago. And one of the individuals that we have here, well, we have two individuals. We have someone else who join us, and of course, he'll introduce himself. But we have Miss Melvina Boye. And Mrs. Boye, she had this popular hotspot, the restaurant and bar and nightclub. Many people who visit the community of Point Michelle, they would know about it. Can you just tell us the name of your former business?
Well, my business name was Melvina's.
Melvina's, okay. So many would know it. Very popular place.
Yeah, very popular, worldwide, well, everybody know about it.
Okay. And Melvina, of course, and sir, you join us, so I'll allow you the opportunity to introduce yourself and tell the viewing public your name, please.
Yeah, my name is Clement Fontaine.
Clement Fontaine.
Better known as Rio.
Okay.
Right.
So we have two residents here from Point Michelle. Point Michelle, one of the communities that was deemed after the hurricane the most badly damaged in Dominica. So we'll start with you, Mrs. Boye. Can you just take me back 5 years ago, the 17th of September, time like now, what do you recall about that specific day?
Well, the time like now, I was in my bar, me and a couple of people, they're drinking, and my supervisor, Miss Erica Jones, she's the supervisor of the National Employment Program, and she was just in the village council as a chairwoman at that time. Anyway, because I was working with the National Employment Program, she came to me, running to me and telling me, come on, let us go and tell people around that we're going to get a hit category 5 hurricane. But I don't, Michelle, people didn't really take it that serious because they only say hurricane coming and ravine and people take it like a joke. But anyway, she went in the ravine where they had the most death and she told those people that they didn't listen to her. But we are around, stay around, and we're telling people. So what I did now, around that time, later on, I was sitting there with me and Mistress Edith Fontaine, better known as Edith Charles. We were sitting there together, and a good friend of mine, Ruth Jeffrey, we were sitting there, and when it started to fall, around 6 o'clock, it get worse. She told me, Edith Charles tell me, Edith Fontaine, let's go by here. So I went, cross the ravine, I went. But after the rain started to fall, it get worse. I tell her, let's go by me. She didn't come. But at the same time, it had a man named Barao. She had a little boy, that boy living in Kingston now. I tell Barao, can I have that boy? Because I felt something was going to happen to Dominica. Then he tell me no. And I say yes, but my husband insists that we should take that little boy. Anyway, he came and meet us. Then rain, nobody couldn't come out. Rain. I myself couldn't come out to run by the rain, the ravine started to go down and everything. So while we're inside there now, I heard something bash. And at the back of the window, the ravine came in by me. And then all of us that was there, it was me, it was my husband, it was Ruth, at the time it was the little boy, it was a man named Joseph Lendon MTI, and I was there. So we closed, and when we suspect that it was getting worse, we burst the window at the back, jumped the window, and went to our neighbor named Celia Blaze. So as we were there now, the ravine came in now, and that time now we couldn't escape. Some of us sit down on the fridge, some of them, and all of that, we tried to escape, burst another door, and we went upstairs to meet her. So we stayed there, we had all the rumbling and everything. It was in the night, I couldn't really see, but I was hearing a lot of things, and it was a nightmare to me because I didn't sleep that night. But next morning when I get up, I was like, where I am, that is not Dominica. I tell my husband, but I'm not saying nobody, it's only us that survived it. Because I saw that everywhere was covered. My Edith Charles home I don't see it. I say, but like I was in a trance. So anyway, I come out. We couldn't come out. Galvanage all about. Anyway, we make our way. We come out. We start to shout. People calling people, asking where they are. Who couldn't come out? Who was hiding? Couldn't come out. So anyway, now we start to walk and people start to talk. And then while we there now, we heard one of a fella named Erickson Charles. Near me, he live and he shouts, "They look a body." The body was just around a couple years away from my home going to the sea. And when my husband went look, it was his nephew coming out from the ravine. That's where they were living. That's Anne Linda's grandson. And then in talking of the day, we get into know much people that lose. But at the time, I wasn't thinking of Melvina at the time. Because when Michelle also, I know my business when it went on. But God is so great that then 2 days before, my daughter coming from Texas and telling Mommy, I'm going to get a bad hurricane hit. And I went in Melvina's and I dismount Melvina's and I carry my things and I put it in a church near me. But the rest of the things I went to the sea. But within myself, what I experienced in Maria, not Maria alone, I saw Hurricane David too, Terry Maria. I thought when that happened, Dominicans came closer, but after we divide.
Yeah.
But the division, Dominicans service politics.
Well, Miss, I'm going to put a pin in it right there for you, Mrs. Boye. Will come back to it and speak on how we've come as a nation 5 years on. I'm just going to go ahead and hear from him and with his Maria story. He was not in. You were not in Dominica.
No, I left 10 days before, 7 days before. I went away. I did have an appointment in London.
You had an appointment in London.
My wife was there, living there.
Your wife was there.
Yeah.
Just take me through you being in London, and now we're getting a different perspective from someone being away and not being here to actually experience it. But I know in the aftermath, trying to contact your family members. How was that for you when you immediately heard the news of the hurricane, and what it was like in the days which followed when you could not hear from your family members?
Well, so far I went by my friend's house, by the sister of my wife. I went by her in London, and then her daughter tell me about the hurricane. So, but before I go, I said to her, the hurricane is coming, so she must leave the house and go and stay by Melvina here. She said yes, which she did. They tell me she sit down there, and then when a certain time she go back to the house. Yes. So far now, in the morning, while I was in London now, the daughter of the sister come to me. I was by them and they said to me, Mr. Fontaine, look at that. They show me the picture. He said to me, you haven't got no wife, no house, no wife. Disappear. Wow. So when they show me all there, then after a month later, I break down. But after a month later, I come down.
And you lost your wife as a result. Your wife, your home. Can you just tell me the name of your wife, please?
Pardon?
Your wife's name. Edith Charles Fontaine.
Yeah.
She was one of the victims of Hurricane Maria.
Right, yes. Right.
So initially, you heard the news from people in the diaspora who told you that. What was your initial reaction? Did you believe it? Did you immediately go into grief? How did you process everything within that period?
Well, I just stayed quietly because I surprised to see that my wife is not there, nothing there. So I was the missus, was the house. I'm surprised to see this over there is nothing there.
There's nothing there.
So I just freeze.
Like shock.
How long after? I know you said you moved 10 days. You went up there 10 days before. 7 days before. I'm sorry. How long after did you get the opportunity to come back home to actually see the destruction for yourself?
Before I come back to Dominica.
How long was it after you came back to Dominica after the storm?
About September, October, November. I come back.
You came back.
We couldn't come down at this time. There was no flight to come down there.
I know seeing it online and actually seeing it in person, it must have been a reality shock. So how was it when you first laid foot in Dominica, or even coming in via, I'm not sure, plane, ferry? How was it when you actually saw it yourself, even going to your home and seeing that it's no longer there? Can you just take us through as to your reaction on seeing?
I just see that, I can see that is a different place. That was a different place when I see what happening. I can't believe it. But when I reached to the airport coming down, they showed me all, I was, on the bus driving coming down. They show you everything. So I said, well, everything flat down. You know what I mean? I was surprised when I come there. It's a shock I get because I don't know what to do.
Have they ever been able to locate the body of your
No.
What?
What happened? The body of her, after some days, they take a smell at the back of the house there.
Identify.
Yeah, and they dig. Some people was walking at the back, and they send more sand on top of it, but they didn't. After that, they didn't see. When somebody taking the sand away from there, then they find the part of the bone.
I identified.
She identified.
You identified.
Over there.
And she was a good friend of yours.
Yes.
Yeah, we were close. But I feel she felt. I feel she knows something would happen to her. Because the same day of the hurricane, the day before, she was telling me something and crying and saying something, you know. But anyway, the life was going.
Yes, so they take the part of the body, you know, and then send it to St. Joseph Hospice.
Okay.
They take the number after that. They didn't quite sure what it is. They send it for DNA in Jamaica. And then about 6 or 7 months later, they send it back there. And then we bury her over there.
You all had an official burial for her.
We did.
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Boyer, I'm going to talk about your business. And of course, you told me that a few days before, 2 days before, thankfully, you made the decision to move some of your stuff away from your business. And of course, you expressed the morning waking up and thinking that everything in Dominica was gone. But take us through that moment when you went to that popular spot that many had known and come to love, Melvina's Bar. They went there. Take us through that initial moment when you went there and that you saw that the business that you grew, it was no longer there.
I couldn't go because all road blocked. But a guy that was even on the other side, but he come and he telling us everything gone. So when I went there, maybe a couple of days after, because he couldn't pass, nobody can pass. It's under bush, you have to pass. The only thing I say, God, you give F and you take F. And that was that. The only thing I say, God, you give F and you take F. And I move on with my life. That's how I take it. Because these are material things. These are things on the world. And I had to move on with my life. I had to move on to help my village people. I couldn't sit down. I had to be in the group with the people, with Miss Denise just come to me and tell me to make a group for us to clean our village and be with them. And I was glad. I was glad to be with them. I was in the group, you know, getting people together to clean, to go to the elder. But we were more tackling the elderly and people have children. But at the end of the after a week or two, some French people started to, after a week, no, we got a couple of days after hurricane, French people from Martinique started to come to Dominica and bring food first on the southern side. But they was always asking for me to share it, being they know me. And I was glad to do that, for make sure that my village and whoever could get a lot. And I always take life one day at a time. You know, I take life one day at a time.
Totally. We're going to speak a little bit more about Mrs. Fontaine, who lost her life. Can you just tell me, what is it most that within that past 5 years, what is it most that you miss about your wife and the person that she was? Can you just speak a little bit more about her and who she was and what you miss about her the most?
Well, she was a lovely lady, a lovely wife to have, you know. So I lived with her so many years, over 21 years, then we married. And up to now, you know, as the house broke, I live on the other side of the road now.
Okay, so you've taken precaution and move away from where the destruction, where it struck.
Yeah, so I live on the top at the moment there. Because I still have a picture on my phone.
Yeah, you'll show us a photo of her if you have.
I have the photo on my phone.
Okay.
So I put it on my phone. So I keep her all the time on my phone.
Can we see a photo of her just to let the public have a...
That's she there. That's her.
Oui. Money portrait upstairs, oui.
So this is a picture of his wife, not so clear. Picture right there of one of the victims who lost her life as a result of Hurricane Maria, which was almost, well, tomorrow will officially mark the 5th year anniversary. So we'll...
Yeah, so I got tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
That is the day of the funeral things.
Oh, you have that?
A funeral?
That is the funeral. They keep the front there.
Hey, that's nice.
We'll just ensure that we focus. So Edith Charles, so I just can't help but miss you. Since you went away, I may act like I'm okay, but it's the facade I portrayed and miss. So just here, and you hang on to this every day? You hang on to this every
That's in
day.
my pocket every day. Everywhere I go, I got it
So
in
just
my wallet.
one of the individuals, Miss Edith Charles, who lost her life as a result of Hurricane Maria. I would love to find out from you all 5 years later, as we move forward as a nation. We saw initially the togetherness of the nation, everyone coming together, and Melvin, I can see the tears right now, you getting very emotional, but everyone coming together, we saw that togetherness and everyone would help each other. But 5 years later, how do you all believe that as a nation we've come? Do you all see more division? Do you believe that we have gone back to our previous ways and not adapted to or take heed of the lessons that we should have learned from Maria? What is your overall thoughts?
Overall is that the kind of thing that happened during Maria, people in Dominica are supposed to sit and think about themselves and how life can be. And in the time we live in internet and television, things we see on the television, I find Dominica should be more together. When Hurricane Maria, everybody was together. Everybody was together. After that, you just see division. You just see people start to divide. People start to some people are still together. Because with me, I still cook for the homeless. When I still do that. I think that's me. I still do that. Sometimes I go Rosso and share food for the homeless. That's what I do. But for me, since after Hurricane Maria, I find Dominica. You have, some people will say no, some will say yes, but you have to leave where you live in and go to another village. It's like, you call it that tourism, village tourism, for you to see after the hurricane, the amount of things that happen, how Dominica developed. You have to move. But if you just stay one place and just listening and to gossip, you won't understand it. But I traveling all over different places. What I saw, I was satisfied.
You're satisfied with the development that we've made?
I saw a lot of things that the cleanliness, I saw it under the NP program. I was excited about it. Like Point Michelle. People that didn't have homes have a house. Even though it's not tears heartedly, but they have a shelter. And we got a lot of funds and a lot of food, a lot of things from the diaspora, from a lot of people overseas that help us a lot. And I think with the kids and them, a lot of people maybe haven't really picked up themselves, but at least we can send our children to school, our children can make it, our children have what they really need. All the time parents can afford. And I find after Hurricane Maria, a lot of things happen. Regardless, even though you fall and you're against, but when a thing is good, we have to see it's good.
That's true. Sure. What about you, Mr. Charles? 5 years later, your overall feedback on how we've done as a nation and how have we learned from the lessons that we are supposed to learn from Maria, or do you believe that not enough of us really adapt to what we should have learned or take heed of what we should have learned from Maria?
After Maria?
Yes, 5 years later, how are we doing as a nation?
Well, it's the same sort of thing I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just there and see how it goes.
I'm just there.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you proud of the progress that we've made thus far?
Every day.
Madam Nikki.
No, that's the way it is in Dominica, so I don't know.
You don't know.
She always
Okay, so you're one who travels frequently.
No, I don't travel anymore. I live in Punctual now.
Okay.
I live in Dominica now, so I don't go back to London anymore. Since then I am here.
Okay.
But they should give him a house.
Okay. You're hoping that he's one who gets
Well,
a home.
they did promise me. They promised me. So he said to me recently, they're doing some at Koi up there. I went and see him about 2 weeks ago. Because he told me he will rehouse me, so I went and see him last 2 weeks ago. So he said to me they're doing some up there, so I go to put you towards one of them.
You should.
Okay, so we're
to see us every day.
He said he will see the direct profits.
It's true.
Okay,
We
so
should.
you're-
And a lot, 100% permission.
Because I lose everything I work for in my life.
Everything he lose.
I work for
And nobody
I
didn't give
live
him
there.
nothing. He never get nothing.
After Erica passed, they destroy everything in the house. I went
It's true,
to
it's true.
buy cuts.
It's true.
I spent $18,000 to buy new furniture and everything.
Wow.
Within 2 years. It's a lucky thing I went to London with 2 trousers. That's all I have to go back with. When I come back there, all what I have, my gold,
Yeah,
my everything gone.
Wow.
My passport, Dominican passport, gone. Everything I have gone. Wife not there, so I just stay like that until now.
No.
I'm waiting for them to see what they do for me.
Just waiting for some further development.
Yeah.
And guys, of course, we're going to continue on and hear some more Maria stories. But if there is anything, Melvina, that you would like to say to the nation, as tomorrow we observe the 50th anniversary, anything you'd like to press to the people or like to see change, what would that be?
Well, I would like to tell the nation, provincial people, whoever can make it, tomorrow, Sunday,
They're doing a thing tomorrow.
and we have a procession, 5 years to the moon, to where the civil died. We have placed a monument there.
Got my reef already to bring.
And
it.
I would like, tomorrow is a day of, let us respect. Tomorrow is a day we have to respect. The same way we were respecting on the 19th Queen funeral, we have to respect that.
Yeah.
Maria wasn't an easy joke. And we asking the nation, at least between the day, put off our music, put off what you put enough, and let us take 10 minutes in silence in prayer within our inner man, because God knows what you have to us. So as I try to tell the nation, Dominica, a lot of us haven't traveled and we don't know what's over there, but Dominica is the best country so far thus far in the world right now. And I'm telling Dominicans, we are praying people. I'm telling you, the way what I would, if it was in the day Maria passed, we would have more deaths because we are inquisitive. But I'm telling the nation, try to be your neighbor's keeper. Forget things of the world. Forget things that are happening. We have to, the same way asking God to forgive us. God say, if you do, when you see your neighbor, you see me. And let's try to build ourselves together. We have to build ourselves together, unite together, and then we build our nation. And I would ask people, Dominicans, whoever has seen me on internet, call your people, call your friends and tell them, tomorrow at least 10 minutes, we have a procession in the afternoon at Sumuli, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
At least try to tell them, even though they cannot come, to be mingle with the provincial people, to feel their moving. At least stop what they're doing for 10 minutes and pray.
Okay.
That is what I'm asking the
That
nation
would be your
to pray, and just don't pray for prayer. Praying is speaking to God. Go within your inner man. What you're doing, stop it for 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes, and let's give God what He deserves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mrs. Boye and Mr. Charles, these are just two of the stories here in the community of Point Michelle, one of the most damaged communities following the passage of Hurricane Maria, and they're sharing their story of what they went through. Tomorrow will officially be the 50th anniversary. They're just sharing their story, and it was a very emotional interview. Throughout, I saw the tears in both of your eyes. So, I just thank you for having the courage to share your story.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, and they're encouraging the public, if you can't tomorrow, to come out to the community of, in the area of Subuli and pay your respect to those who lost their life. At least take 10 minutes out of your day and just say a prayer for the family who are still hurting. So, of course, we're going to continue on throughout the island and see who else we can get to speak with as we continue this 5 years on Hurricane Maria story, and just to hear from more Dominicans as to their story and what they remember about that day. So, thank you for staying connected to Dominica News Online. Thank you so very much for sharing your stories. My pleasure. Do enjoy
I come there and time them.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'll go back, Fafa.